what is pulse? Right? So if you look at what are the five elements? What are the five elements? Tell me, I told you. Don't remember that. I told you like very physical meaning wise, like what five elements are in our mind. Go by that. Understanding. Don't try to get the words.
Earth, water, fire, air.
When you say earth, you connect and talk. Don't separate your word from your conceptualization. See, I cannot talk separately without thinking. Means either I have to think only if I do some fashionable things, I have to do artificially. Otherwise, everything I have to, only when my mind becomes that I can talk. Otherwise, I can't. Gupta ji used to tell, you have to, to talk without a mistake. I cannot do that. Because if I don't connect, I'll make mistakes. You see? So, in a running fashion, you cannot do that. So, when we say earth, it is the solid in our body. Earth doesn't flow. It is solid or local energy particles moving in there. Their movement is there, but they don't flow like liquid. Liquid flows everywhere. Even through the tiny nadis, liquid flows. They are like very fundamental. We are not looking at liquid means H2O, those kind of bigger molecules. At fundamental itself, liquid is defined. Liquid is defined as a fundamental level, very tiny particles itself. We know that this will become the liquid. So that flow is there. Heat is flowing. Fire, we say, right? Heat flows. There are nadis for the heat flowing. And then we have flow for the air. Vayu flows. Now, the other thing what we have in our body is the Akash or the ether body. Okay, so you have to have a clear understanding of this. What is the ether body? The ether body is the life force in our body. If the ether body goes away, you're dead. There is no life. This body is not there, you are still alive. You are not in the body. That's all, but you, what you call as you is mostly in the, it's not associated with the physical body. You will have, still people will cry, come and cry, it's your own future, they will cry, This is the body, dead body. But they identify you through your body only. But you are not in that body. Your memories are mostly in the astral body, and the astral body carries the causal body, magnetic body also. The astral body goes away, magnetic body also goes away. So that's why you cannot smell, touch or taste in the dead body, cannot do these things. Okay. Now, the energy, astral body can even go out of your body also. When you are living itself, you can bring your body out there. Astral body. We have done astral travel and all. If you are advanced level in another 5 years, you can do all this. It will take you astral body. So astral means you can go out, so the energy can travel. This energy can come out. Solid cannot move, therefore fixed. But these three things move in a structured fashion. Which three? The liquid,
Gas.
the
Fire.
plasma fire,
Plasma fire.
and the
Gas.
air. They have to go in a structure. So those are the things that we are identifying as pulse. For a body, through the nadis, they travel. So that's why I give an example. You should come out of this mind of this nonsense science. First I am telling you, don't go for this molecular science and all. This is it's a wrong way of understanding this universe. See, they look at one cell And they thought that if you build multiple cells, the cell, you are like a multiple structure. Look at the cell, if you study the cell, you are part of the cell. But that's not the truth. By doing an experiment on cell, you will not understand a human being. Because in human being, many things are developed. Chakras are developed. Different aspects of things. So you cannot just tell, somebody did that experiment. They think that this is the thing and they continue to do this. It's a waste of time. They kill all the animals and do, this is the animal, you do the same thing. That has nothing to do, that business is separately happening. Selling the animals, they have to do things and that's happening. But the science, they keep on lying the same thing. They will try to associate and then they make like the whole science is like. Okay, you have to understand. So the astral body, they don't go out of the astral body is the ethereal body, and through the astral body only, you go to sense also. Who is the sensing person? When the astral body is there, the consciousness is also like that. The consciousness only senses that whole pulse. Okay, so what you are doing is sensing how big. So it is called. See, in certain things like I cannot divide modern science completely. There are many genius people are there in modern science also. Very genius people. Now we are connecting sciences, different kind of things, and giving it as like corporate science. But people are original thinkers were there. Tesla, Einstein, and all are really great guys. They are original thinkers. Okay, we put them into science, but they found some things, right? So the wave particle theory in quantum mechanics, very interesting. These are done by Bose. Bose was one of the scientists. He was talking to Heisenberg about ancient science, about how the quantum mechanics things are there. So Heisenberg turned this into material science. You took the consciousness out, and Heisenberg, he converted into material science. Now we call it quantum mechanics. The whole quantum mechanics is ancient actually. Wave particle theory. So particles and wave are the same. Like now we are talking about Panjabhutas can be wave as well as particles. So when we are looking at a wave form of this Panchabhuta, right, that is where you are seeing the pulse. So when Panchabhutas are, individual particles, right, when they are moving in a flow, they build up like continuously moving, it becomes a wave. So that movement through the nadi can be sensed in certain areas, and that sensation of the pulse is called the pulse diagnosis. You are sensing that your finger. Now, see, I will tell you Ayurveda pulse. I will tell you the Siddha pulse. Siddha is a very advanced pulse, I will tell you why. Vata, Pitta, Kapha, we say this is Vata. So one finger, if you take this, one finger, you leave one finger and touch this point. This my left. So you can do, see, people say women do left, right and all. For both, you should do both hands. Okay, and then only you come to a conclusion.
Now, do you go below a certain, like this bone here?
Yeah, see the first pulse, you leave one finger, little bit, one quarter finger, and then you can see the first pulse. Then keep this, right? So this one, it's not the accurate thing. I will tell you. This will not give you like a real sense of the body. Okay. This is a limited version. So if this is telling Vata, Pitta, Kapha for your body, if this is beating high, you say Vata. If this is beating high, this is Pitta, and this is beating Kapha. But this is not enough. can rely on this data for 10% data. People research in Ayurvedic, people go a little deeper and they find many things. So it's a very different, but generally when you're talking about the two Vata Pitta Kapha, most of the 99% of the time you can go wrong. Now, the other thing, what you are identifying is not for Vata. You are trying to identify problems, not for this Vata Pitta Kapha. Like how? So you have to identify what are the things here. So there is a wave, right? Okay, wave means what? So now we are looking at like a sine wave. Sine wave means, you know, sine, cosine and all you, right? A sine wave is like this. So they are talking about a sine wave, actually, this pulse diagnosis. A sine wave goes up, it has a crest and a trough, right? You see a hill and a valley, keeps going. So a hill and a valley is called one wavelength, wave. Okay. Now how big the wave is? You can go little, right? It's called the amplitude.
Oh, Vata.
Right? Amplitude or intensity. Amplitude squared is intensity. So the amplitude is one thing. The frequency, how frequency means the time, how many seconds, you know, within a second you can get a lot of pulse. Frequency is another thing. And direction is another thing. Which direction? Is it flowing this way or this way? So these aspects will give you an accurate thing about, okay, this frequency is very high for you. Amplitude is high, what happens? So those have been structured. I have the whole structured PowerPoint. I'm not showing because this is not an advanced class. I have all advanced pulse diagnosis. So for each thing it is given, ancient one. If the pulse is high for a Vata, if this goes high, what happens? So they have come with a number for this. What is a good body? So first thing, so you take these three fingers. So these three fingers, the Siddha pulse talks about, use these three fingers, right? These three fingers using as a tool. This will do the Vata, this will do the Pitta, this will do the Kapha. Okay, by changing the same Guru Nadi, touch the Guru Nadi, it's the Guru Nadi, right? You feel the pulse here. Close your eyes. Feel the pulse there. Little bit of adjustment you can do until you feel the pulse. Index finger.
Oh, wow.
Be very mindful. Do little bit of adjustment. Okay. Now. Yeah. Okay, close your eyes and be, you have to be there in that moment of feeling the pulse. Now change the same place, you can change the finger. Swap to middle finger. There you go. Middle finger, right? And this will give the Pitta information. And the third one with your the other ring finger. Now, what you can identify? If you want to identify, the pulse is compared to the, if you take a rice, barley, right? Barley is the accurate thing. If you take a barley grain, the width of the grain is the amplitude. That's the size you're looking at. Okay, now this should be, so the amplitude should be 1 for Vata. Okay, this should be 1, the high, and half of it for Pitta, and quarter of it for Kapha, for accurate body. Whether your Vata, Pitta, Kapha, doesn't matter. In order to check whether you have a good body, the body is in good shape, the Vata should be 1, Pitta should be half, Kapha should be quarter. You see the way, right? So suppose you don't know Vata is 1, Vata may be half, we don't know, right? So then you change and see. And the Pitta, oh, Kapha is this. You cannot have 3 problems. Very rarely you will have 3 problems. People have 3 problems. Then this is screwed up. It's very difficult. Pulse will go. So at least you keep one as a reference and go to the next one. Okay, this one. So then you go change the hand. It's not like simply doing Vata Pitta here, Vata Pitta, Vata Pitta. No. So you have to get a sensation for this very deep pulse. You are the best doctor because somebody else can come to you only for a few minutes and do that. But you can be in silent state and do for longer time and understand your body. You are the doctor.
So does it change in our body, whatever you are saying, like every day, every hour, does it change or is constant?
So Vata, Pitta, Kapha will be until you have a, if you have a problem, it will change. So whereas your body type doesn't change, but this pulse, according to this pulse, right, it will change. It will change means if you have a majorly it will not change. If you have a major problem, for example, your Pitta can be half, right? Instead of half, it can go to quarter. That means your Pitta down, the feeling, right? So when you are down, the only way you have to bring it up. So this can be remaining for longer time if that is your Pitta disorder. If you have a Pitta dosha, this can be for longer time. Then some patterns will come in there. That's where we comes I'm talking about whether it's going reverse. Amplitude will show major thing. But then whether if it is going reverse, very dangerous process. The flow should be in one direction.
Which direction?
See, you will feel that all the 3 cannot be reversed, then you are done. Okay. So if you see, you will automatically feel the pulse, it will go in one direction.
Oh, so it goes forward towards the thumb right here.
Towards it now, yeah.
Yeah, mine is definitely towards the thumb.
It comes from here.
But if it goes backwards, that's a problem.
Yeah, for my ring finger, it always feels like lighter.
Mm.
This one. I
That's
don't know if
normal.
just-
Yeah,
That's
ring
okay.
figure should be lighter.
It's not just placebo or anything.
No,
No,
ring figure should
that,
be lighter.
that means you're good.
Okay.
You're fine.
So ring figure should be quarter, okay, quarter pulse. Then relative to that, the next one will be double that, and next one will double that.
So if you don't feel kapha, is it too low?
Yeah, your ring finger,
Oh,
if
man.
your kapha is low, you cannot feel it, and the other one if you are
Water.
feeling nice, that
Too
means
much
your
fire.
kapha
Pitta.
is, when your kapha is low, what happens?
I need water.
So you have a kapha disorder, right? You have a kapha disorder.
But I kind of feel it. I feel it.
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm also answering.
Man, my body is like, my
So
body's
that's-
saying I'm having
that's
fire
how you have to
in my house.
find it.
Might
So
be,
now there are many things you can fix. So if your Vata, Pitta, Kapha are balanced, then it should be 1, half and a quarter. So you try to do anything to fix this. This is the way you can find out, oh okay, this is now I'm good, I don't have to worry about doctor saying anything. If this is fixed. For you, I don't care about doctor.
I feel all 3 is like same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the.
Right?
so
How
we
much?
are saying.
All 3 are same means if you have the same thing, so problem
Like
you will have.
we could be wrong, but that's how.
No, if all 3 are the same, you have 2
Those.
dosas.
Pitta kapha.
Anything it could be. It depends on how big
Maybe
it is.
Vata
Say
is
for
too
example,
long.
your Vata should be 1, it can go half, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
My-
Pitta, and Pitta could have gone on all equal. See, Vata became half equal to Pitta. Kapha become double is equal to Pitta. So you will have 3 equal.
But
it depends if we've eaten or not. There's certain times of the day to take the pulse, right? Whether,
Best time for pulse is early morning. There is a Vata Pitta Kapha time also. But for Vata people you can do like that. But generally, like all the urine test or fecal test or this one, the pulse early morning. 4 to 6 is a good
So
time.
how do we know which subdosha is having problems?
How do
Which
we-
subdosha is having problems using
Oh.
pulse?
Yeah, well, the same way there is a subtler. If you go very deeper, within that pulse, you go like this, right? This one is a pulse. That pulse itself is a vibration. There's a wave. The whole one pulse, right? It is a pulse, right? That pulse itself is a wave coming like this. So if you go to that pulse, that also has a wave. This is a pulse.
Should our fingers be positioned that way or that way? Like should the index finger
Okay,
be
so see, I'm sitting here. Sit like me. Keep your hand like this. Go on like this.
underneath?
Yes. Okay, so I'm keeping here 1, 2, 3. Right. This can be done without a problem. If you're doing this one, you have to do this way. But when it comes to Vata, it doesn't matter. You can do this also.
So all the
What?
fingers go into the same spot, not
Same spot. It's called the Guru Nadi. You're touching only the Guru Nadi, changing this. These are meters. This is a Vata meter, Pitta meter, Kapha meter. Okay. So don't think some instrument and all will do this kind of thing. Some crap. I don't know if you have an instrument or not. That means you haven't understood. It's nonsense. A device cannot go to the sensation that we can do. Human beings can go subtle. Device will do something that is nothing to do with this. It will show you now some number, it will give all the things. Human beings, we are ultimate. Why? Who are we? Human made, not believing in ourselves. Same thing in the mind, you have a wave. Mind is wave, right? Mind is wave only. Lot of thoughts are wave functions. So thoughts go like this. Vata thought will go like this, crazy, right? And stops, crazy, and then crazy. The mind also behaves same way, right? Too many pulse will go very high, stop after some time, and then suddenly will go high, like that. Behavior, this organized behavior can be seen the pulse on the mind also. If your mind has that problem, you watch, you have a Vata disorder, you have to watch your mind also. Then body will automatically have this problem. Right? Pitta is very straight, it needs to be very organized thing, but intense. Focus. Too much of focus. Disaster. Come out of this, Why are you so much worried about these things? This little thing, little thing only you are worried.
Oh my God.
Yeah? Right?
Yeah,
So nothing is perfect in this. This thing we think everybody is thinking I am perfect, Nothing is perfect. Everything is a disorder only. Right? So you need to keep this balance. Why somebody behaves like this? They are different body type. They will behave like that only. You cannot ask them to behave like us. Accept them as they are. There is nothing wrong in their behavior. It is the nature. We didn't understand what it is.
But that can be changed.
Why do you want to change?
I'm asking if that's the
It's a
thing.
disorder.
This dosha, they can be changed. And they say you cannot change someone, right?
You can change. If you are in order, Pitta can be like good Pitta. Sadhaka. Okay, you convert Pitta into Sadhaka Pitta, goodness. instead of jealousy, you can give like, be appreciation. You start to bring a critic instead of criticization, you can turn that with into appreciation. Or everything can be, there is a opposite to everything. You can convert
Even
that.
there's the-
Very sattvic way of telling that without hurting. Right?
Develop the virtues.
Virtues. So all this can be done. Right? Vata can be a disorder by taking you for a ride. I used to be a Vata disorder when I got married. I believe that my wife also should do like meeting hours, like those kind of things. I'm crazy little guy.
I know
And
how you too well.
It's a Vata disorder. It's a Vata disorder. Right? We think why is my wife also, she should be like, why she's not thinking, she doesn't have a stamina like me. Their thing is different. She's a Pitta type. So this is what we are understanding. Lack of understanding only causes many problems in our life. Right? All majority of the divorce that we see, look at, because we haven't understood our partner this way. We want them to be like, behave like us. It's a disaster if two people behave the same way. If you are lying, I want my. See, they have a fight with my husband who eats dosa. I'm eating roti. My husband is dosa. We don't like each other. We have to cook separately. All those things. That itself is a big problem for them. He doesn't eat chapati. He's eating dosa. He's a crazy guy. He wants dosa in the morning and all. Like these people are there. They get. That is the biggest problem in their life for them. They will leave everything and then they will fight for this. Because their likings are different. Because that is the liking they will like. That kind of dosa fermented thing is required. That body is requiring that. So this all, if you understand what all our mistakes we have done because of the lack of understanding of our own self, that led to the understanding of relationship. If you look at it. Because we haven't understood ourselves. Everything is our reflection only. Right? If you go back and look at that's what happened. And this is always a chance for you to change. You change yourself. First to change, see, two things are like this hook. You'll have a problem. If both are this, that's fine. But at least one, even if this is there's a hook, there's no way it can. So fight can happen if both are only this. If one is straight, even you will not end up with problems. So that means if you had a problem, you were also this, equal. You always think that I was poor, I was doing all this, but this person, but you haven't seen from other perspective. You were equally responsible. Equally responsible, no doubt.
Antagonist.
We just had a fight
I'm
this
sorry,
morning
what
about
did you
this.
Antagonist. Fighting.
Yeah.
Instead of moving.
Okay. So this is now what you do morning, you can do this pulse. So the best way, do it for yourself every day. After a meditation. Pulse is a meditation, remember. You can do only pulse when your mind is settled. So what automatically you do, you start to meditate. What you are doing is touching the Panchabhutas. So it is a meditation. It's not a commercial business, buddy. I do Vata Pitta Kapha.
Can we try touching each other's balls then?
Doesn't work. It's a meditative process. As you meditate, you're accessing their Panchabhutas. If I am doing for somebody else, I am accessing their Panchabhuta state. That means it is a meditative. I am touching the fundamentals of life force in the body. Fundamental life.
We have to be connected to understand because there has to be a dialogue inside, right? So
Right.
we have to listen deeply
Right.
so that we can access the
Yes.
information,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. So first you access your information. Second, you can do with your children, spouse, right? And then after that you do for others. Not start with simply just like that. See, in this culture we have this problem. Everybody wants to teach. Before learning, they want to teach. Next day itself, 2 things they learn. Oh, I am going to teach. I start a yoga class. What that? Next business is a yoga. So that's not the way. You have to master this. This is to do with the line. What are your end? What's the end goal? You want to make money and do what? You're going to die, buddy. This is nothing. See the completeness of life.
What's the difference between lefts and right when you take the pulse?
Yes. So you can even 6 tastes can be identified. There are 3 tastes here, 3 tastes here. Okay. The 3 missing tastes, these are advanced things I'm telling the classes. The missing taste, if you can identify, that will also, if you take that taste, you can cure.
I didn't get that.
6 tastes, they will have a pulse. So in that case, you do 3 fingers like this.
So which finger is
So all the fingers in the, see, the mind is very, very complex. The same place, you can identify 6 tastes. Same place only, but now we are accessing something different. The intention is very important. That's why I told you, when you are trying to breathe into your head, the air will go inside. The same nostril, if you breathe into the lungs, it will go inside the lungs. To the stomach, go to the stomach. Your thinking opens up channels there.
Oh,
This is yoga, right?
Yeah, if you don't do it, it's not, it's a normal yoga or whatever it is. If you don't do yoga also, it is also happens.
It's all breathing
Everybody.
techniques.
If you don't think this is going to the brain, it will normally happen. Like whatever you are a shallow breather means, this guy you will not even go here. So lungs itself. And you have been told, because of the modern science, the lung, your lung is used for breathing. So you have been told, so that means you think that air will go into the lung and come out. Air doesn't have any business or what? Air doesn't have any business, air goes in and pumps out, it seems. Why? It doesn't have any business, see, it has, many things are there, many big holes are there, why is going through this small nostril here, right? And it will go in and come out uselessly. Air goes to every part of the body, tip of your toe.
But where is generated in the body?
Generated, you get the pranavayu goes inside, pranavayu comes from outside. Converts into different vayus. 12 types of vayus are there. So where, like how air has like oxygen, nitrogen in the modern thing, different kind of thing. Inside our body, once it enters, it becomes subconscious. Each one becomes a subconscious. If it becomes samana vayu, they work like this. Udana vayu work upward. For talking, I need udana vayu. If my udana vayu is less, I cannot talk well, express well. Abdominal, so it's coming from down. Why now? Why apana vayu is as a problem? Then all the circle, going out, elimination problem, periods problem, women problem, urinary problem. All these things happen. Delivery, baby delivery. We need apana vayu. So these vayu functions, they go inside. They go prana vayu, but they are used up for all these purpose. Air is not a easy. The simple thing, I did some exercise. Air is the important part of our life.
So the air controls the mind or the mind controls the air?
It's both ways.
Very good question. Powerful question. Panchabhuta controls is before us, or we, is the mind coming after the Panchbhutas? Panchbhuta created the mind itself. Think about it. The Panchbhutas created the mind, but we control mind more than mind. Our consciousness, we as the identified I, have more power. Especially human. How are we different from animals? How are human beings different from animals? 3 degrees of freedom. 3 degrees of freedom what we got. One is physical body freedom. Second is mind freedom. Okay. Jiva Sundaram we call it. And the third one is consumerism. In these 3 things, degree for consumerism, these 3 degrees of freedom, we are different from animals. Animals do not have karma. When they do anything, see, tiger eats a goat, there is no karma there. They will not get karma. Oh, you feel sad, it doesn't matter.
Humans are also becoming.
Human beings become that. If you're still an animal, you can do that. But if you want to become a human being and higher, human, right?
Domestic animals, they can become greedy like us, right? The
Yeah,
cats, we
they
feed them
can.
and they go out and they kill and they won't eat.
Right.
They lose their
Yeah,
natural
yeah.
connection,
Right,
right?
right.
That's what losing your freedom does to you.
So if you look at the animals, they have, they don't come and do some yoga like some dogs come and do, let's do some yoga conference. They don't do that. We do it. We flex. Our body becomes very flexible in different directions. We do this. That's the freedom we got. God gave this freedom. Oh, take this freedom. You can do anywhere you like. Okay. But do the right thing. It gave all the freedom. You can only do this, human beings. I'll give you this freedom. The second freedom is mind can think anything. Nobody knows now. God is not there, in a room. You go pray. Oh God. And when your mind becomes bad, there's no God there. You can think anything you like. Nobody knows this, right? So you have that freedom. Animals, they don't think bad and all. That moment, whatever it is, it will do it. They don't make ideas, all those kind of things. To screw somebody's life. All these things doesn't happen. And same way, consumerism. Right? Freedom for consumerism. See, if you look at so mind, for mind, I will tell you another example is, an animal, if you take a dog and put him in front of a mirror, it will always think some dog is there. But we can understand. Or they don't worry about mechanisms. How is the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, balance, the dog is worried about it. Or global warming is happening, let us do something, we'll have a conference, all the dogs come together. So we worry. So this is the freedom that we got to think beyond that. And the third intellectual freedom what we have is the freedom for consumerism. If you look at a spider web, it's going to be the same for thousands of years, millions, right? And then if you look at a honeycomb, it's the same thing. Birds, they do the same old, ant will build the same old houses. Human beings, we build differently. Freedom, you want to wear dress this way, colorful, all these things.
Creativity.
This is how we are different from animals. Freedom for physical body use, freedom for mental mind use your mind, freedom to consume, whether it's clothes, food, we'll cook and eat, we do this and eat, we'll roll and eat all. Animals, same food, they will eat whatever they eat, same way. Right? They start eating. When we try to force them and eat, all disease come. You know how we did to the cows, right? They feed all the cattle, all the dead animals to the cows. We end up in mad cow disease, all kind of problems. So, these 3 degrees of freedom, God gave one golden thumb rule. You can do everything you want. I give you the freedom, but there is a cause and effect. Animals don't have cause and effect. There is a sin and imprint. Right? I give you this freedom, but if that freedom hurts yourself or others in the present or in the future, physically or mentally, then I will call it as sin. You can do that, use the freedom, but use it for you should not hurt yourself, should not hurt others, you should not hurt them physically or mentally, in the present or in the future. I'll take an example of these three consumerism. Take you are taking a medicine, right? Liver medicine. What is that liver medicine there? What is that they give for the liver? So okay, let's say metformin. What happens? What are the side effects? Now I got cure. So let us put in that golden rule. Today I feel better. Tomorrow it damaged me. So it is against the rule. Consumerism.
That's how you get sick.
So this doesn't fit into this rule. Like I'm a practitioner of Ayurveda, but I'm going to this doctor, I take these 10 medicines and this Ayurveda side.
Oh my God. You're
That
dying.
means you haven't understood the whole concept. How this is done. You have to understand the nature of this. So this is against yes, Kishan.
I was gonna ask, are you talking about like an ethical cause and effect, like karma, or like cause and effect, like it's like you eat something unhealthy and you get the effect of that, or are we talking about like the ethical?
I'm talking about
Well, there's
more
something
about
much deeper than
ethical
that.
means everything will come under ethical only. This rule will apply everything. For example, you taking I am eating an apple that is chemically spread or everything, right? How does it affect, right? Apple is a good food. Apple is a very pure food because apple comes from tree. Fruits do not have karma. But now I polish that apple, put some wax and all, looks very nice. Now I'm eating. What did I do? Whom did I damage? You damage yourself. You damage the environment. So that principle will not work out. Self or others, other means also the environment. Right? So golden rule. Right? So if you follow this golden rule with the freedom, you can live in this life. Happily. I can do anything. See, you can do and go to a gym and do all those things.
Overdo.
Today it is good for you. Tomorrow the same gym is going to affect you. But yoga is not like that. So you have 2 degrees of freedom now. Like you have 2 choices for the same degree of freedom to use your physical body. Either you go to the gym, you body build and all these things. While you are doing, you didn't ask why you are doing all those things. You want to attract people, old age.
It's actually you're throwing
But
away
do you
your
want to
freedom.
keep your body? Same thing, I am doing some yogasana. See the alignment. You are doing health-wise, you are doing, good for the health benefit for yourself. And everything will align, nature will align with you. So use this for the right purpose, degrees of freedom, food-wise, everything-wise, yes.
What if you don't know what you're doing is wrong, will you still get the karma for that?
So animals don't have karma.
Yeah.
So animals, human beings also have, animal state also. Human beings also, there are people who will not have karma if they are in the Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha, if you go to a street, you can see somebody, you give some food, they will eat, they will sleep, then wake up next day, they will beg. So they are Annamaya Kosha. They are also humans, but they haven't evolved fully. They are still animal level, Annamaya Kosha.
Yeah, usually they say you become an animal in the
Yes.
next lifetime. You don't get out of there.
So majority of the people move to the next level. 90% live in the Manomaya Kosha. So this is a further evolution of human. Human doesn't stay there. Manomaya Kosha is all the people they use the mind for this. I'll do the little bit of music, I'll do some other, class, math class, I'll do volleyball, all those things. You're not stopping with just food. You want to do something extra. So 90% of life are involved in the Manomaya Kosha. That's the second level of evolution. But the yogi started at the Pranamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha is where energy starts to believe, oh, this food, I don't like the energy of this food. It's not good. Karma is there. I don't want to involve this. Karma. They look at the energy level of this. I know how this food came from this. They killed this animal and that animal, was bleeding and, they took the calf away from the mother and then, they're giving this. The sensation of energy start to work on everything, right? They feel the energy, they can feel the energy, prana shakti, all these things, that's the level. Some people can little bit shift. They go to Annamaya Kosha, they may have one or two experience in the Pranamaya and come down also. Those things are there. But regularly living in that Pranamaya Kosha is the next level. Pranamaya Kosha is the beginning of the yoga level. So people now, in the Western country now, we look at people, there's amazing shift to Pranamaya Kosha. In the ancient culture, they lived in the Pranamaya Kosha long time back. Amazingly, they came down to
Poverty.
Annamaya Kosha and Manomaya Kosha. Highly, if you look at any Indians, if you look at how to
Chinese,
make money, Chinese culture, Indian culture, you look at, they want to make money, they want to be like the, like I want to learn this
It's poverty.
mathematics, I want to have a degree in this. They are not worried about this conscious stuff anymore. It is there.
That's poverty.
Western countries have come forward. Because this is nothing, it doesn't belong to, knowledge doesn't belong to anyone. We are telling different cultures and all, they all are same only. We all came from same source only, not different things. Fundamentally humans are from consciousness only. Right? So now there is a chance of shifting, the universe is shifting, right? Lot of things, many yogis will come in the Western countries. Lot of yogis will come. It's going to happen, you see that. Lot of amazing yogis, deep, because they are just given chance. People haven't utilized this. Doesn't matter, So it will evolve, right? And then from Pranamaya Kosha, then the next level is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha means, Vijnana in Tamil we call Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnana, Vijnana. Vin means fundamental energy particles. Jnana means the knowledge, the wisdom about that. So all the mechanisms that we are talking about, the valve, the kapha, body, all these are Vijnanamaya Kosha. They did not go through books. They got the knowledge from consciousness when they go close to the consciousness. And consciousness directly gave this knowledge. Vastu Shastra, all the different Vedas, Agamas, all came from the Pranamaya Kosha state. Not through learning in the Manomaya Kosha. All scientific knowledge is happening in the Manomaya Kosha. It is lower only. So do not think that some scientists can touch Vijnanamaya Kosha.
They have to, right.
Okay, they have done that. Einstein and all have gone some things. Tesla, these few people, they have gone spies. There are people done that. All cultures. But basically, this scientific knowledge is not the greatest knowledge. It is made up knowledge in the Manomaya Kosha with the mind. You make assumptions there. When mind comes, assumptions are there. Intuition doesn't exist. In the Vijnanamaya Kosha, intuition starts. Deep down, things come from inside, opens up. Truth comes up. So that level, and as you stay in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, you go to Anandamaya Kosha, experiencing the ultimate consciousness. So where you can be a human being and still be in the Annamaya Kosha and be an animal. So now, do you want to achieve there, then you have to evolve into your food and everything changes. Now 3 degrees of freedom and what are the 3 degrees?
The mind, the, what do you call it, the creativity, and then your
First physical body first.
Your physical body.
Physical
mind,
body.
and then your
Freedom of consumerism. It includes food, it It includes clothing. We can also have a wrong clothing, right? If you wear polyester, all these things, what happens?
I took all my clothes.
Polyester, nylon and all are wrong karma for the thing. So the same consumerism only. You can consume, you can wear clothes, but at least do cotton, linen, organic material, organic dyes. Then your karma is decreased. You can do this. So all this freedom is there, but how do you use the freedom? So that is where humans differ. Yes.
So if you are not, those who are not vegan, unless you are a vegan, so everybody is creating karmas.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's more
Vegan itself can create karma. How? Say for example,
Not
I-
vegetarian, I'm talking complete vegan, complete.
yeah, yeah.
But if you
See,
monoculture,
if I have
Yeah,
a,
that's one of them.
see,
Or you
suppose I
destroy
have
it.
what happens? So I have a soy, which is a turkey soy. So now I'm eating them. Right? Let us enjoy this as like, oh, let us make this the turkey, right? Fake turkey. Let's eat it. So now I recommend everybody, come on man, everybody, let's eat this. Why instead of meat, why are you eating meat? What he created?
It's something more
He
powerful.
created hate also. And then what happened? He's still thinking that he should kill that animal only. That mind didn't change. It is becoming only a culture. So transformation should happen to the tongue also. The memory should go away. I don't want this taste itself. Tongue as a memory. 10 types of memory we will describe all those things. That's next tomorrow's class, right? Memories.
That's why you make us
10 types of memories are there. One of the memory is a sensory memory. So sensory memory, we get used to the sense of taste that is not leaving us till the end of life. See, you have kurma, kurma and biryani and all. Where is this coming from? How many of you know kurma and biryani? Tell me.
Biryani I know, but kurma I don't.
Iran?
How many of you know
No.
biryani and kurma? Like many Indians know this.
Seriously, I only eat pho. Really?
Biryani and kurma are not Indian food.
Yeah, it's from Pakistan, right?
It is a Middle Eastern food.
Correct.
But they were only mutton kurma, the chicken kurma, mutton kurma, chicken biryani like that, right? Okay, thank you. So that, what happened? That became like a memory in the Indian culture, and Mughals came, and that memory still stayed there, so they converted that into vegetable biryani, vegetable thing, used that, but they wanted the kurma taste like how they ate the meat.
That means the
The
mind
tongue
is
wants
there,
that.
wants the meat.
Still want the meat. Memory is not gone. Religion is not a transformation. India is nothing. I'm telling you, Indian religion, it didn't transform things. There are beautiful things. People are not transformed. You being a vegetarian has nothing. You have to transform into compassion living. Some vegetarian will be wearing a shoe with leather, belt with leather. Their couches, if you look at in Indian couches, they are made up of leather, right? They use all kind of chemicals. They kill every day. We have our toothpaste, our soap, right? Polyester, everything is killing. Just because I am a vegetarian, they feel that they are superior also.
Oh
It's
my
all-
God. Vanity.
Oh, I am a vegetarian, pure vegetarian. Nothing. You cannot even think that vegetarianism is something like higher. No,
It's responsible living.
exactly. So you have to shift that perspective. You have to see the collective things of people. There are people that are so superior even without doing any religious things, just by how they are living. So we need to transform into, take this one formula, golden rule, and apply, everything will fit into that. The golden rule, what is the golden rule? I will not harm the self also. You cannot harm yourself. Because you didn't bring this body. Oh, my body, I can do anything like no. You don't have, you have given a chance. This body. My body only, what are you talking about? I can do anything. No. It's not your body. Did you bring it? Did you bring it to this world?
Having domestic animals, it's kind of built as karma because we have to kill all kinds
Well,
of
it's worse than that.
animals, right?
Do you know that when you
To
domesticate
feed
an
them.
animal?
Why do you have to?
No,
let
I
me-
mean,
there-
this is
let me tell you
happening,
about
right?
this.
I feel guilty all the time.
So, I mean, this is why I don't like
But I have
domestic
a
animals.
cat, I can't abandon it.
You don't want to see these kind of all these things. Why you having cat? I will tell you. Your selfishness. We created. You want a cat. Cat is a wild animal. For your selfishness, you are keeping a cat. It's a simple thing.
No, well, actually now many like dogs and cats
Yeah.
have evolved to become
Good.
like they've evolved to become
It's
like-
worse than that. We domesticated them 8,000 years
Yeah.
ago, where we kept them in a house, and if they misbehave, we beat them up. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the reason why animals today are so tame and they're so stupid because of that. Cows are the same way. We used to have cows that are really big, but now they're all like really dumb animals that if you leave them out in the wild, they're going to get killed.
So that is the thing. So you follow this rule, the entire world will change. If you follow one rule, put this into policies.
This is why.
Right? Okay, your policy, if you make this rule, see Bhutan, you know the country Bhutan, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't have something called GDP.
Oh,
You know what GDP is, right?
Yeah, it's
Gross
well.
domestic product.
No, it's worse than that. GDP means like the production of how much you export, okay, and the surplus you get per person.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
per cat.
And it's a serious problem. It's like
Right.
some countries they get so rich, others they make money off the suffering of others.
See, India wants to become now rich, very rich. So with
UK is
GDP,
one of those
our
examples.
GDP is increased.
Terrible.
Everybody is like very happy. Oh, our GDP. Stupid thing. It's a waste of time. See, you follow good rules from good things from good other cultures. Good things, right? Bhutan, as a culture, they put it as gross national happiness.
Yeah, but here's the problem. You want
They
to
ask
live with them?
people, how are you? How are you? Well, are you doing good? How great? So they have a measurement statistics, and they will know. Okay, this is gross national happiness. They are happy. What else do we need? Why do we need to show that you have more money? Same thing like individual. I have more than this, and this country is fighting in a bigger way. This is what the country is happening now. You look at the status, right? They are all just fighting like little babies for I am greater, money making business and all. Business should be conscious business models. A business should not harm the planet or a human being or no matter whatever you do. This rule goes in. It's a divine rule.
And
That
for
our-
7 generations, it shouldn't harm. 7
Yes.
generations.
So you look at future. What is the future? Today you do business and go. Tomorrow is a mess. What our children will do? There is nothing there. You destroy everything.
Yeah.
So this is what we need to be as a conscious. This is what we want to create in this. You want to be a conscious global citizen. When you get this conscious global citizen awareness, you first healing yourself. Will happen. The healing in you happens when you get this awareness. So what I told, remember this. Tomorrow I am going to tell. Day after tomorrow I am going to tell this thing. When you align this, there is no question. You don't have to ask me whether something is right or wrong. You know whether it is right or wrong if you follow that rule, golden rule. What is the golden rule?
Do no harm to
Do not
yourself,
harm self or others. It includes environment, right? Physically or mentally. Then today or tomorrow, right? Present, current, or in the future. Current it may be good. Future it can destroy. So you don't want that kind of technology, that kind of medication, that kind of politics. If you follow this golden ancient Siddha rule, that will change the world. Okay?
So we have like, so we see insects in our homes, like okay, and we put the insect killer and all those. So that is also not true.
You ask this question, that's what I'm telling you. Don't ask me.
Ask yourself.
So by killing,
No,
what
but-
you are doing?
But
Self-
they will harm us, right? Like if they stay.
Nothing
Here's-
will harm you.
Here's
You are nothing. See, if you are very strong, any insect you can take it out. There is an insect repellent. In ancient days, we did. Do you do sambrani?
But then I heard that.
Like you put the fire and then you put all the herbs
Yeah.
around. You do at home every day. Do these kind of natural things. There in ancient days, if you follow all those things, we have some very good incense sticks and all. Right? Did you bring it? Right? So they repel. So you keep all these things away, they kept that, and that's also good for health. They are repelling those because they don't like that particular, not because of the chemical effect. So anything that we inhale should be healthy. So they are very very good kind of psychologically they have understood animal psychology and understood all these things to use that. So there are a number of ways. Even for an ant, they feed it every day. The pollen. Pollen is what rangoli. That like you draw, different pictures like those pictures. In front of the house, they use with the rice flour those days,
When did they go?
so that they feed their ants.
We used to feed ants.
Ants.
All the
For
insects.
feeding ants, and they will come towards that. It's part of the life. Everything is contributing towards the planet. We think, ants are useless, they're going on something. They have a purpose. The rats in your garden have a purpose.
The reason
Right?
that women wear the anklets and all this, that maybe also, it's also like not to hurt any insects, because with the noise they can move.
That is another thing. But that also has benefits. But those and all are related to the
Nadis.
marma nadis. Different marma nadis, why we are wearing this and all, we'll talk
Pressure.
some other day.